This is NDTV. And you're watching NDTV Hindu.
The government recommends AICTE not to issue any more licenses to engineering colleges in the state, says it has enough.
அடுத்த ஆண்டு முதல் தமிழகத்திற்கு புதிய கல்லூரிகளை துவக்க அனுமதிக்க கூடாது என்று தமிழக அரசின் சார்பில் AICTE கேட்டுக் கொண்டிருக்கிறோம்.
The Thanjavur Big Temple, all set to celebrate its 1000th birthday, is a danger. An NDTV Hindu exclusive report.
அடிநீரை உறிஞ்சுகிற போது இந்த மணல் அதனுடைய கட்டமைப்பு குலையும், இந்த கட்டடம் இறுதியாக சரிய வாய்ப்பு இருக்கிறது.
After RTI activists cry foul, Jayalalitha targets the government, calls the appointment of the Chief Information Commissioner illegal. It's not just a collector's item anymore, it could be your big bet to rake in big bucks.
There are paintings that I bought at 1,000 rupees that are now worth 25 lakhs.
Dhoni is not impressed with Wasim Akram's remarks. Defending the men in blue, Dhoni said that these remarks could have well done without.
I don't think, you should be clever enough to just make a statement based on 3 games or 4 games. It's the overall picture that you see.
It's a do-or-die match for Team India. Sehwag scores a brilliant century while wickets stumble at the other end. Good evening and welcome to News Tonight, a news bulletin that you won't regret watching, missing those serials, because here is where you get to know everything that matters to you. I am Radhika Iyer and here are the national headlines. Lok Sabha passes the nuclear liability bill by a voice vote. Prime Minister says that the nuclear bill does not favor the US.
The motion is adopted and the bill as amended.
But the BJP accuses the centre of hustling the bill just before President Obama's visit to India in November. The Home Minister speaks of the threat from within, the new phenomenon called saffron terror.
There is a recently uncovered phenomenon of saffron terrorism that has been implicated in many bomb blasts of the past.
Well, if not soccer, these football players from Iceland can definitely teach us a thing or two about celebrations. The government of Tamil Nadu has told the AICTE, a central government agency that controls technical education in the country, not to allow any more private engineering colleges in the state. This comes in the wake of complaints that private colleges operate without the required facilities, undermining the quality of training. And not just that, the government does think that they have enough of engineering colleges.
23 new engineering colleges opened in Tamil Nadu this year, taking the total number in the state to 471. Along with their growth, complaints have also mounted about the poor facilities, forcing the state government to recommend a freeze on new colleges.
இருந்தாலும் அடுத்த ஆண்டு முதல் தமிழகத்திற்கு புதிய கல்லூரிகளை துவக்க அனுமதிக்க கூடாது என்று தமிழக அரசின் சார்பில் AICTE கேட்டுக் கொண்டிருக்கிறோம். போன வருஷம்லாம் 100 மேல போச்சு, இந்த வருஷம் நம்ம குறைச்சிருக்கோம்.
For the first time in Tamil Nadu, the number of students who took engineering this year touched 1,20,000. Minister Ponmudi attributed this to the cancellation of entrance examination, 1,378 seats for engineering courses in Tamil, and the waiver of tuition fees for over 71,000 first graduates, attracting more students from the districts to engineering courses.
2005 கிராமப்புற மாணவர்கள் 17,990 தான். 2010 76,073 பேர். அதாவது 2005 55.72%, 2010 67.99% அதிகரித்திருக்கிறது.
Tamil Nadu is next only to Andhra Pradesh, which has the highest number of engineering colleges in the country. Experts say it's too early to say whether the colleges will welcome or criticize the government's move. In Chennai, Minal Shah, NDTV Hindu.
Is that good news or is that bad news for aspiring engineering students and those even aspiring to make some bucks out of running engineering colleges? Joining us live from the Hindu studio is Mr. D. Suresh Kumar. He's the Assistant Editor of Education Times of India, also the Secretary of the Education Correspondents Association. Thank you very much, Suresh, for joining us live on this very special bulletin. Your first reaction after having covered education for the last several years, your first reaction to the government's recommendation application to the AICTE?
I think this is a welcome step, a very long overdue step, because the number of engineering colleges have proliferated in the last 3-4 years. From about 220 colleges in 2002, we now have 471 colleges, almost double. So, and most of these colleges, they're critically short of faculty. So, in that context, I think the government has rightly stepped in, although belatedly, and they have decided to speak to the AICTE to ensure that from next year, we don't get any more engineering colleges.
All right, Suresh, just to give the viewers a bit of facts, in fact, this year, it is for the first time in Tamil Nadu that 1,20,000 students have gotten themselves enrolled in engineering colleges. More than 1 lakh students, of course, have got admission in the government quota. This, of course, has various factors. The fact that Tamil courses of engineering were introduced in Tamil medium. The fact that there was the cutoff, of course, was reduced. The fact that many students were also given the first graduate sort of advantage. Would you then agree that these factors have sort of, in one sense, encouraged technical education but at the cost of basic science courses?
See, one good aspect about what the government did is to introduce this incentive of a complete waiver in tuition fee for students who are taking up professional degree courses for the first time, the first generation learners. So, that has certainly helped enroll more number of students into professional colleges this year. More than 70,000 students, about 76 I believe, 76,000 students from rural area as well as those belonging to the first generation learners have enrolled for BE BTech courses, which is a welcome step, because in a sense you are trying to empower them. But the problem here is, has the government or has the universities ever identified whether these students really have the aptitude to pursue engineering, or whether they need to be confined to the arts and science colleges? Now, without that, without determining the aptitude for the technical education, if these students were to be brought into the mainstream of engineering colleges, then they will suffer 4 years from now when they will not be able to complete the course, because they may not understand the medium of instruction, which is largely in English in the self-financing colleges. And secondly, they may not acquire the right kind of skills that are required to make them employable.
Correct. But how bad is it for Tamil Nadu, considering we do know that there is, despite the fact that there's been an unprecedented increase in the number of students enrolling in engineering this year alone, there's still an 8,000 seat vacancy, which perhaps goes to indicate that there is not so much appetite after all, and there is a surplus of engineering colleges. However, we're not still the worst when compared to other states like Andhra Pradesh in the state, which have more than 540 engineering colleges in the state.
Andhra Pradesh, I just discussed with the president of the self-financing colleges there, and he tells me that there are more than 700 engineering colleges there. So, in that sense, Tamil Nadu is comparatively better with 471 engineering colleges. But the problem here is, these students who have stepped into engineering colleges, whether they can be trained properly. Because as I said earlier, several engineering colleges here do not have competent faculty. And many of the engineering colleges, the classes for the first year students are handled by fresh graduates. Students who just graduated this academic season are handling classes. So, what sort of a competence would they impart to the students? That is a big question mark.
Right, thanks very much for that insight. But last question before I let you go, Suresh, academic interest apart, there has been controversy, and all of us are not sort of oblivious to the fact that the spurt in the number of engineering colleges in the state, or perhaps in many other places in the country, is also because of an interest in sort of trying to earn some money, because this seems to be a quick business for many influential people, and this is an open secret now. While we will have to wait and see what the AICTE's reaction to this will be, do you think there will be some sort of protest from those who are managing colleges?
The protest from the those who are managing colleges is slightly unlikely, because they will be happy when the numbers are less, because of which they can actually increase the demand. When there are more players, then the competition reduces, and therefore people will get a seat in colleges where they require. So therefore, the lesser number of colleges, the better for the college managements. So I'm sure that they will also support this move.
Right. Thanks very much, Suresh Kumar, for joining us from the Hindu studio live, giving us that insight. Perhaps the lesser, the better. Contradictory to the fact that the popular proverb, of course, goes the more, the merrier. Right to information activists have welcomed AIADMK Supremo Jayalalitha's stand on the selection process of Chief Information Commissioner for the state. Amma had said that the DMK government's move to appoint the Chief Information Commissioner without disclosing the details of the aspirants for the post to her is unlawful. She also pointed out that her request for the details of candidates for the post was not declared to her.
I think it is certainly unlawful for the committee to decide in the absence of an important and integral member of the committee, the leader of the opposition. The leader of the opposition should be present, and information ought to have been provided in advance. And in the absence of information, participation becomes meaningless. So I think that what Ms. Jayalalitha says in terms of the entire process being unlawful would be maintained by the court. Or it would be maintained under law for certain.
The leader of the opposition not missing that chance to make sure that she makes the point that she was not given enough information when it comes to appointing Information Commissioner. But for the moment, RTI activists, it seems, are up in arms against the process of selecting the CIC. Moving on, the biggest asset of Tamil Nadu when it comes to heritage is all set to celebrate its 1000th birthday. While the government is making gala plans to celebrate Thanjavur Big Temple's big day, there is a danger that threatens the temple's survival. The temple's Wonder Tower, which is 216 feet high, has withstood sun, rain and wind for centuries, but it seems that this mistake by man could allow it to cave in. If the government has its way, a borewell being dug near the temple on the southern side of the temple poses a serious threat to the World Heritage Monument. Peer Mohammed with his exclusive report.
The Thanjavur Temple Rights Retrieval Committee is furious. The committee has approached the Madras High Court to close the borewell being dug less than 100 feet away from the Sanctum Sanctorum of the Brihadishwara Temple. That is a complete violation of the World Heritage Act by UNESCO, because digging a borewell could endanger the sandbed basement on which the 216 feet high Vimana or temple tower stands.
தஞ்சை பெரிய கோயிலினுடைய கருவறையினுடைய மேற்கட்டு விமானமும் 216 அடி உயரம் கொண்ட 45,000 டன் எடையுள்ள கற்களால் கட்டப்பட்டது. அதனுடைய கடைகால் மிகப்பெரிய தொழில்நுட்பத்தால் செய்யப்பட்டிருக்கும் என்று நாம் எதிர்பார்க்க முடியாது. அந்த காலத்து அறிவு அச்ச உணர்வின் பார்ப்பட்டது. அதனால் அவர்கள் மிகப்பெரிய மணற்படுகையை தேர்வு செய்திருக்கலாம் அல்லது மணற்படுகையை உருவாக்கியிருக்கலாம். அந்த மணற்படுகையில் கருவறையிலிருந்து 100 அடி தொலைவுக்குள்ளாகவே அவங்க ஆழ்துளை கிணறு போட்டு 400 அடி ஆழம் வரை அடிநீரை உறிஞ்சுகிற போது இந்த மணல் அதனுடைய கட்டமைப்பு குலையும், இந்த கட்டிடம் இறுதியாக சரிய வாய்ப்பு இருக்கிறது.
But the Archaeological Survey of India, which protects the heritage monument, defends the action of the temple authorities. ASI maintains that the purpose is to get water for performing abhishekams to the linga in the temple.
After a lot of deliberations and after taking considerable advice from engineers and architects, it was decided to deepen the well a little further so that at least there will be half an hour uninterrupted water supply for performing the puja. As a result of which there is no problem to the temple per se or to the structure.
The borewell would be dug as deep as 170 feet, something that could cause vibration to the temple tower and possible cracks from within. That's not a present its creator Rajaraja Chola would want for the temple's 1000th birthday. In Chennai with Peer Mohammed, Nithila, NDTV Hindu.
Well, more than the vibrations, now the big worry is if water is indeed absorbed from the ground level, then what happens to that solitary rock on which the foundation is standing? Here's why we at NDTV Hindu have almost taken it as a campaign to ensure that work, although has stopped for the 3 days, will not be resumed. Here are some experts giving you an insight on why the Thanjavur temple has not got its due and why work on that borewell activity should stop immediately.
The foundation of Thanjavur Pragadishwara temple is 96 into 96 feet. It is a square and its depth is analyzed as 5.5 feet only because it has been located in a sedimentary rock of lime rocks, which is so viscous if it gets moisture. Otherwise it will be very hard like granite if it dry. Okay, in the dry condition it will be rocky.
Actually, you know, there is even Archaeological Survey of India is taking water far away. It is not even for garden operations, for all other works, even for conservation works, even for cleaning, chemical cleaning, what is brought from more than 1,000 meters away. So that is done. But here in this particular case, I think already 150 meter bore well was there, which was functioning for the past 20 or 25 years.
If you have your thoughts to share with us on that very big story, that exclusive story, then do write into us at feedback@ndtv-hindu.com. Moving on, a doctor's negligence proved quite costly for a girl child in Nagapattinam who had to undergo another surgery to correct the anomaly. Peer Mohammed tells you how this prompted the girl's father to move the consumer court. And if you have faced a similar story in your family, then here's why you should use your right as a consumer.
Three-year-old Shivashankari of Nagapattinam was rushed to a local doctor when she sustained a wound in her right palm due to a broken glass. The doctor sutured the wound but unfortunately immobilized her index finger. She had to undergo a plastic surgery to correct the anomaly. Aggrieved by this, the girl's father Arumugam moved the district consumer forum.
The child has been admitted and the surgeon sutured her on the particular portion, had done something incorrect on the particular portion, due to which the child developed some post-operation complications. Even though it was brought to his knowledge, he did not bother to rectify the earlier mistake which has been committed by him.
Nagapattinam District Consumer Forum awarded compensation for the victim. The doctor appealed against the District Forum in the State Consumer Commission. The State Commission upheld the District Forum's verdict and awarded 10,000 rupees compensation.
It is necessary, of course, to prove that there is a negligence or deficiency in service. If the doctor had acted in a prudent manner and if he had adopted the right course of action, such a bad incident.
Shivashankari's family is quite relieved after the judgment of the State Consumer Commission.
The data in the State Consumer Commission show that medical negligence cases are on the rise. The pro-patient judgments of the State Consumer Commission might make doctors more careful in the future. In Chennai, Peer Mohammed, NDTV Hindu.
And we introduce to you an IPL that you may have never heard of, but that is after 2 minutes. Stay with us.